Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. How many of you planned to be here today and registered a week ago or like 3 days ago, being sure that this day is gonna come and made plans for tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. How many of you are planning to go to church, spend time with your family? Raise your hands. We all make plans for tomorrow, and we're dead sure that it's gonna come, right? We put so much faith on the day that's not here yet, and we put together 5-year strategic plans. You'll just say, I'll learn how to swim next year. I'll get married in 2 years. I wanna have 4 kids by the time I'm 40, blah, blah, right? But that tomorrow you were once hoping for is today, the now, that we're looking at each other, and I'm here, and it was a lifelong dream of mine to be here, so thank you, I'm happy to be here. We talk so much about tomorrow. It's also important to look back and realize where it all started for me. Born and raised in Addis Ababa to a middle-class family, my mom, a beautiful woman who was a modern traditionalist that got married in her early 20s to support her family. And she happened to be so lucky in life that she got to marry my dad, who is the greatest man I know, and my best friend and my best critic. And they pushed through this so-called life, and they got to raise us. And we were lucky enough to enroll in an all-girls Catholic school called Nazareth School in Addis Ababa. That is the sound of Nazareth School. So I am the product of my mom and dad and my amazing teachers. I've spent 13 years of my early days at Nazareth School, so every teacher, every caregiver, everybody that we came across instilled so much moral values and this character that we have today. We owe it all to them and to everybody that we grew up around, right? So, yesterdays to tomorrow, seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, hours to days, days to weeks, weeks to months, months to years, years to decades, and then a lifetime, right? I am a lawyer by training, but been in marketing for the past 15 years plus, I think. My resume stayed the same for the past 3-4 years. So I had the privilege of working with remarkable tech CEOs like Munir Duri, from the founder of Kafiya Financial Technologies, Amadou, whom I ran into every now and then because we share so many ideas and values around tech and the tech landscape in Ethiopia. And international organizations like UN Women, multinationals like Diageo, Heineken, Unilever, Coca-Cola, you name it. I've, one way or the other, directly or indirectly, worked with so many great companies and people that I don't know anyone that has switched careers like I have in the past decade. So, what did I learn? That lesson, I want to talk about my family again. I lost my dad in 2019, and that's when I learned the true math of a life. My dad was a graduate of architecture and urban development. He did his master's in France and Italy. He was a natural linguist. He could speak up to like 6-7 languages, 3 local, 4 international, and all of those languages he taught himself. He's from a city called Debre Libanos, which is in the outskirts of Addis, which is some 97 kilometers outside of Addis. So He was so brilliant that he got the chance to enroll in the School of Wingate for high school students that the then Haile Selassie's administration set up with the British government for outstanding Ethiopian students. Okay? So that's when he met my mom and they got married and they got to have all of us kids. So when he passed away in 2019, they lived, I think, in the United States for the past 16 years. They brought him to Ethiopia, back to his hometown for his burial. That's when I understood the true math of a life. Everybody we knew, near and far, came to celebrate this giant of a man we were lucky enough to call Dad. But nobody was there to talk about his degrees, his professional milestones, the 5-year strategic plan he put together. None of that. They were there to talk about his generosity, the kindness he left behind. His legacy was that he was able to connect, inspire, and leave everybody better than he found them. And it made me even more proud to call myself his daughter and to call that man my bestie, whom I have conversations with to this day and never stop talking to. He was hilarious, and he told the most unhinged jokes you could ever imagine. And our bedtime stories were lit. That's why I was telling Amadou, I need to put together this comic book and turn it into something that I can give my kid. I have an 8-year-old son who I raised by myself. So, so, how did I get here? I'm also here to find out with you guys, by the way. I'm not even sure how I even made it here, because I'm usually the MC at such events, and somehow we're here. Some of my high school friends might be here. So on our yearbook, on the most likely to be part, everybody wrote, this is like 90-something of my classmates thought I would grow up to be a supermodel and a comedian. So it's obvious I ended up being a supermodel, but you know, the comedy fits somewhere in there. So, my parents were incredible hosts. We had guests every single day at our house. You come home from school, you change your clothes, you go into the living room, there's somebody, at least one person having coffee with my mom, at least. And on the weekends, they put together these unplanned, out of the blue party, and they would just have tibs, that's like the version of barbecue, outside in the garden. You look out, everybody in the neighborhood, in the block, is in our house. And my mom would bring out the stereo and they would just dance, Hayar and Azmari, to make a party. They made a party out of everything. My aunt was also the same. I think that's why I took after my family and was very interested in putting together any kind of event. And by working with Cactus Advertising, one of my greatest mentors, Yasser Bagirish, and Jonas Demise, that was our line manager, still is the MD of Cactus. I got to work with the biggest companies that you could ever think of that were based in Ethiopia. And with Unilever, we launched Omo, Knorr, Dove, Axe, you name it. When it first launched in Ethiopia, I was a big part of that. We planned media together. We did so many things. I traveled across Ethiopia. And it's so funny because, like I said, I switched careers a lot. And I don't even know when I pull out my lawyer card or my entrepreneur card or my communications and marketing card. But they all come in handy. So I learned as I plan out my tomorrows, I find great satisfaction in being helpful to others, no matter what profession you're in. And saving random data just helps you become a great conversationalist. Noticing what's happening around me. I pay attention to the news. I tell every young person that I train to pay attention to the news. And on average, an Ethiopian consumes about 7 liters of oil per year. Okay? And as of last week, we're 79 million liters short of providing enough edible oil to every Ethiopian. So any idea that I come up with, basis off of these information that I get from the news, from people around me, from random data that I come across. So putting together my parents' ability to put together an event effortlessly, and because they are such great hosts, I carefully thought how I would combine all these professions together and come up with one great idea. I don't know if it's great, but it's here. It's called Waza. It's a very human-centric, tech-based event management platform. So if you have an event and your budget is 250,000 birr, you go onto our platform, you put in your budget, you click on how many waiters you need, how many ushers or valet, security guards, DJ, band, you name it. Anything that you need for your event, we have enlisted them on the platform. And we make sure that everybody has a great experience planning or executing the events they've designed for themselves, or it could be corporate, private, any kind of event we're trying to put together. And now that we're in the time of AI replacing humans, one thing that cannot be replaced is humans that are in the service industry, right? Especially for us Ethiopians, you'd have to get that coffee right, net ayala macchiato, and everything has to be like come together perfectly. So that's what we're trying to do. And so far, without even the app being ready, I had the pleasure of working with 676 gig workers that were able to get a job through me or this platform. Thank you. And we've also been a part of so many amazing programs with Renew Capital, with Gebeaz Mesrat. We've had the pleasure of meeting so many people. So right now, as I'm planning my tomorrow and trying to provide employment for others, including myself, I am very aware of technology. I am very much aware of the gaps that are that each one of us face, either to put together an event or going to a government office trying to process some random license, or it could be anything that's handy to you becoming someone right now. So in the process of doing that, my childhood has stuck with me, is gonna stick with me, because my yesterdays are also gonna be a part of my tomorrows. And I'm not so obsessed with planning, like putting together a 5-year strategic plan. I don't have a 5-year strategic plan. However, I do know that I want to continue helping people, helping young people that are trying to figure it out, and share a bit of my experiences by making good use of such stages. And the comedy. I laugh a lot. I don't take myself seriously. I goof around so much that my 8-year-old son has started saying, "Seriously, Mom, it's not a joke. I'm not joking. Are you joking? Is this a joke?" But it helps, right? Like I told you, after I lost my dad, and me thinking that he was gonna be here through all my milestones and be a witness to the things that I'm doing, or even to just, grab a glass of beer with me. Tomorrow was not promised, is not promised, and although I am aware that he's looking at me from somewhere up in the clouds, I hope I'm making him proud, and I hope my story inspires one young person at least, and that I would be able to say I have done my part in making Ethiopia's story shine. I told you I switched careers, right? So right now, not right now, ever since I was a kid, a music album was like an event in our family. The moment my dad or my mom walk inside the room with an album, we lose our minds. We pay attention to the lyrics. Everybody is writing it down. The housemaid, everybody is engaged. It's like an event. Whoa, rewind it. What did he just say? Like everybody comes together to celebrate one great body of work. So one of the recent professions I've added to my resume is talent management and mini music producer. And by doing that, I was lucky enough to work with artists like Yama, Robel Mideksa, one of our latest, proudest moment in celebration. I have some of my teammates here with me. He has a song called Ababaye that talks about yesterday's becoming today's, and today's becoming tomorrow's, and tomorrow's turning into yesterday's, called Ababaye. So I'm gonna leave you with these few words. I hope will take me to my next TEDx and lead on to greater moments next time we meet. Understand that as you plan for tomorrow, be very aware that we're there today. We're right there. And the moment that you have is right now to connect with people that you love, spend more time with people that you love, apologize to people that you love, and don't get ChatGPT to write that apology letter. But understand that what holds true is the amount of integrity, honesty, and courage that you've shown in this life that measures the quality of human you are. And that holds true across each profession, right? So I wish you all good luck, and I am very happy to see that people are engaged and this involved to make Ethiopia as great as she is. I hope to see you all soon. I'm gonna leave you with Ababaye. Thank you so much. This has been great.